Run and tell all of the angels this could take all night. I think I need a devil to help me get things right. Hook me up a new revolution, 'cause this one is a lie. We sat around laughing and watching the last one die. I'm looking to the sky to save me. I'm looking for a sign of life. I'm looking for something to help me burn out bright. Yeah, I'm looking for a complication. I'm looking 'cause I'm tired of lying. Make my way back home when I learn to fly. It can wait one night. Give it all away if you gave me one last try. We'll live happily ever if you just save my life. Run and tell the angels that everything's alright. Yeah, I'm looking for the sky to save me. I'm looking for a sign of life. I'm looking for something to help me burn out bright. I'm looking for complication. I'm looking 'cause I'm tired of lying. Make my way back home and I'll learn to fly. Make my way back home when I learn to. Make my way back home when I learn to. Make my way back home when I learn to fly. Looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for. Hey, I'm Lester J, and here's how I put together my live looping cover of the Foo Fighters' Learn to Fly. The first thing I knew I wanted for this was to have it be a smaller setup than usual. It ended up not being that small because I brought a bunch of cameras. But most of the music gear could just like fit in my backpack other than the stand and really other than like the camera tripods. The rest of it fits in a backpack. And so for that, I decided I was going to try a performance that was just like fully on the push. Probably the hardest thing about that is that as a keyboardist, I'm not used to the way that that the keyboard is laid out. So it actually kind of took me a little while to figure out like how to do the chords the way that I wanted them. I find that not very intuitive, but I'm getting more used to it, and it was a good opportunity to practice. So that way I didn't have to bring a MIDI keyboard with me. The other tricky thing about using the push, which I did not plan for, I practiced this a bunch, but I practiced it at home. And at home, I could get away with just using the MIDI input, this USB MIDI input. But as soon as I brought the push out here and I tried to turn it on in the sun, I couldn't see anything. And I had a moment today when I was like, is this going to happen? And I basically just drove around for half an hour until I found this cable at Walmart, and suddenly the brightness came on a lot more. So that's going to make this setup inhibitive for like taking anywhere where I don't have a power source, because I really couldn't see anything. The basic equipment that I have today is I have the Ableton push, and I have this just like little laptop stand I got on Amazon, a couple of basic Amazon pedals. That's been the other game changer about live looping with push, is that this second input here allows me to control the start and the end of loops. I know that some people do these like fixed length loops, but I find that sometimes if I can make a loop happen in, like for example, the drum loops that I do, I can do that in, just like 2 bars, and that takes time away that I would have had to do if I was doing it all on a fixed length and had them all be like these 8-bar phrases. So I prefer to do it where I control the length of the loops, and this pedal has like really made that possible. The second input was such a game changer. I don't usually use it to start loops, because sometimes in my session I like to like choose where in what scene I want the loop to be in. It's not always the first one. So yeah, that lets me at least like stop it hands-free, which is cool, especially when I'm going back and forth from this like note and session mode. When I was coming up with the idea for the cover, I knew, first of all, I wanted it to be lo-fi, so I wanted to slow it down a little bit. And second of all, I knew I needed to bring it a little bit lower. I wish I sang like Dave Grohl. I don't. So I needed to lower it down a little bit. And the first idea I had was actually that I wanted the guitar to happen in this rack. Again, so I could do it in this sort of like low setup kind of thing. The guitar rack, which is just made up of basically like samples of the guitar chords, which I had to transpose to get to be the right ones. And then I came up with some alternate ones just so that I could have a couple options to play with. And then I wanted them to sort of like have this good echoey sound, so I turn on this echo. But that was the first idea that I had, is that instead of using a live guitar, again for the lo-fi feel and also for the small setup feel, that I wanted to use those guitar samples. The other idea that I had was to do the stack with the like looking for background vocals. I thought that would be really cool. And the way that I do that is by making a group of all those voices, and instead of, because it eats up CPU, which is like sort of your biggest enemy when you're doing live looping. So instead of putting my like chain of effects everywhere on this, which is, I don't know if you can see, but it's this RKC's quick chain, which is a nod to Rachel K. Collier. I use this Vox chain all the time. And yeah, so instead of doing each track having its own vocal chain, I have this group, and they all get sent to that group vocal chain, which is it could have allowed me to, like, if I want to, it lets me filter them all out at the end as a group pretty easily using this auto filter over here. I can filter them in and out. And you just kind of stack them up once at a time. Like, now that they're in that group, I can do my first one on the first of the G chord. Looking for, 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 looking for,
looking for.
So now I have this whole big group that I've stacked up using the first of the chord, third of the chord, fifth of the chord. And then from there, the rest of it just kind of got built up one piece at a time. So I liked having like the chords in this sort of like plucked guitar, and I thought it would be cool if like after I made them, I turned on the arpeggiator, and then it like kind of messed with it. So the benefit of having it on the push is the arpeggio is right there to turn on. Here if I'm doing my chords. Here's the pedal. And then I can bring in the arpeggiator. Oh, looks like I changed the sync rate. That's fun. And then I, at one point, just sort of play with the like style of the arpeggiator so that it can feel a bit more randomized, which was kind of a fun effect. That's like most of it. I kept it pretty simple. At one point, I was playing with whether I was going to play the bass part in live or not. But I find that like sometimes playing the bass part, if I'm gonna like do cuts of videos for like Instagram or something like that, this can get kind of lost, and it's not like the most exciting thing to listen to. It's a lot more fun live, but it doesn't always translate so good. And then like, I don't know, I feel like attention is limited for how many things like people want to watch you loop up. So I try and strike that balance between like what's going to be exciting to watch and what's going to like make it feel like it's kind of dragging on. And this one felt like it maybe would drag on. For the synth, at the end for the guitar solo, I knew I wanted like kind of this gnarly synth sound, and I like that you can play with a couple of the effects here. Like I play with the filter. And this like bit crusher thing, just a ton of fun to make it like have like just that little crunchy moment before the ending. Maybe the other thing that you don't see that's off camera, which I'll film separately, is I have the Apollo Twin, which is just like really easy to take with me. Really the only thing going into that is this microphone. And I have for my like monitor set up so that I can hear the click track. I have this X5 like wireless headphone set, which has worked pretty good for me so far. If there's anything I didn't go over that you want to know more about, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. I'm happy to go in detail about any of this stuff. I've got more live looping videos and tutorials, so click on through to the next one. Thanks for watching.